There comes a moment in every seeker's life when the invisible speaks louder than the visible, when something within whispers that abundance is not earned by force, but invited by alignment. Today, you will learn why 3 simple numbers placed quietly in your wallet can shift the flow of money in your life with the precision that feels miraculous. Money obeys the quiet instructions of the mind far more than the loud efforts of the body. This is the first truth many overlook, because the world trains people to believe that success comes only from force, pressure, and constant striving. Yet the deeper laws that shape abundance respond to belief, not exhaustion. When the inner picture is clear, the outer experience begins to rearrange itself with surprising speed. The first keynote reveals that money is not moved by effort alone. It is moved by certainty, by the unwavering conviction that supply is available and ready to meet you. When someone holds a mental atmosphere of fear, every opportunity seems to slip through their fingers. When that atmosphere changes to confidence, chances appear where none existed before. The external world becomes a mirror for the internal stance. When you decide with full clarity that you are meant to prosper, life answers that decision long before your actions have time to show results. This truth reshapes everything. Instead of trying to chase or control outcomes, you learn to prepare the inner environment. The mind becomes the soil, and belief becomes the seed. If the soil is filled with doubt, the seed cannot take root. If the soil is nourished with certainty, the seed sprouts quickly and grows with little resistance. Money begins to obey you when you stop waiting for proof and start offering the proof of your faith through your thoughts. Every time you hold a picture of abundance with confidence, you give life a clear command. Every time you entertain fear, you cancel that command. This is why so many people take action after action, yet remain stuck. Their outer activity is pushing forward while their inner belief is pulling backward. When those two forces stop conflicting, prosperity flows. The law of certainty asks for one thing: a decision. Not a wish, not a hope, but a decision that what you desire is already aligned with your destiny. This decision removes hesitation, clears mental fog, and creates a sense of inner stability. When your thoughts no longer wobble between faith and fear, money finds its way to you through channels you never planned. You begin to meet the right people, hear the right opportunities, and take the right step without strain, because your inner GPS is finally connected to the truth of your supply. The moment certainty is established within, movement begins without. This is why a calm mind attracts faster than an anxious heart. Certainty speaks the language of the universe. It declares that you are ready for increase, and the universe responds in kind. The second keynote reveals another deep truth. Supply already exists. Every form of abundance you could ever desire is already created in the realm of ideas and possibilities. You are never trying to make something appear out of nothing. You are simply tuning your awareness to what has always been present but unseen. Lack is not a real condition. It is a temporary blindness. When you do not see your supply, it is not because it is absent. It is because your inner vision has not yet adjusted to its presence. Belief is the light that makes the invisible visible. When you hold the thought that your good is already available, your mind widens enough to receive it. When you assume it is far away or difficult to reach, you push it away with your own expectation. Everything you desire has a pathway prepared for it. There is a route, an opening, a channel already built. The only question is whether your consciousness can match the frequency of that pathway. The moment you believe you are meant for abundance, you rise to meet your supply. You stop standing in the old vibration of worry and step into the vibration where your good is already complete. Life does not deliver according to need. It delivers according to belief. When you believe that what you desire is uncertain, life responds with uncertainty. When you believe your supply is assured, life responds with assurance. This is why people who carry an inner knowing receive opportunities without effort, while those who doubt struggle even when support is offered to them. Your supply is not waiting in the future. It exists now. Every idea, every connection, every resource required to elevate your life is already in circulation. The process of manifestation is simply the process of awakening to what is already yours. When you adopt this mindset, your energy changes instantly. Instead of thinking in terms of delay, you begin thinking in terms of unfolding. You no longer ask when your blessing will arrive. You begin watching for where it will reveal itself. This shift opens the gates of intuition. You recognize signals you once ignored. You feel guided instead of lost. You move with confidence instead of confusion. When the mind accepts that its good is already created, doubt loses its power. hesitation fades, fear weakens. You become receptive to divine timing, trusting that nothing is actually missing, only waiting to be claimed. The second keynote brings a sense of peace that invites prosperity forward. It teaches that the universe is not withholding anything. It is simply waiting for you to align with the truth that everything is already prepared. You are not calling abundance from afar. You are clearing the inner obstacles that once kept you from seeing it. This is the moment when supply begins to move in your direction, guided not by pressure, but by your quiet certainty that what is yours cannot pass you by. Prosperity accelerates when fear dissolves, because fear is the only thick curtain that separates a person from the abundance that already surrounds them. The third keynote teaches that the moment fear is replaced with calm expectancy, the entire rhythm of your financial life changes. Expectancy is not passive, nor is it blind optimism. It is a knowing that your good is on its way with the precision of a law. Fear imagines obstacles, delays, and disappointments. Expectancy imagines pathways, opportunities, and divine timing. When the inner emotional climate shifts from tension to trust, you stop vibrating at the frequency of lack and begin moving into the atmosphere where money flows with ease. This shift does not require force, it requires recognition. You recognize that fear has been directing your attention toward what could go wrong rather than what is already going right, and the moment you reclaim that attention, energy begins to work in your favor. People often misunderstand abundance and believe it comes only when circumstances change. In truth, abundance begins the moment the inner mood changes. Fear holds the mind hostage and closes the channels through which supply tries to reach you. It creates a tightness that blocks inspiration and intuition. You cannot perceive the right step, the right idea, or the right opportunity when fear is the loudest voice in the room. But when you release fear even slightly, new ideas rise like dawn breaking through night. The mind opens. Possibilities appear. Solutions that once felt impossible suddenly feel natural. Calm expectancy creates this opening. It is the quiet but powerful conviction that things are unfolding in your favor, even if you cannot yet see the evidence. This is why the third keynote carries such immense power. It is not about pretending. It is about shifting into the truth that fear is an illusion and that abundance responds to trust more than effort. When you step into expectancy, you step into alignment with what is already prepared for you. You begin noticing subtle signals that lead you forward. A conversation that once seemed unimportant suddenly becomes the doorway to a new income stream. A thought that once felt small becomes the spark for a prosperous idea. Expectancy sharpens perception. It allows you to recognize your blessings while they are still forming instead of missing them because fear distorted your view. Circulation, the theme of the fourth keynote, reveals the rhythm of wealth. Everything in the universe moves. Oceans rise and fall. Seasons shift. Breath flows in and out. Life is built on cycles of giving and receiving. Money is no different. When money appears to pause in a person's life, it is usually because their energy has stopped circulating. They hold too tightly. They fear release. They cling to what they have because they believe more may not come. This fear freezes the flow. Circulation teaches that what you release in faith always returns in multiplied form. It reminds you that money is not meant to sit in stagnation. It is meant to move through channels, touch lives, and return enriched. This is not about reckless spending. It is about releasing with trust. When you pay a bill with resentment, you send out resistance and receive more situations that feel heavy. When you pay with gratitude, you send out expansion and receive more situations that feel supportive. Circulation is the invisible current that determines the quality of your financial experiences. If you fear loss, you attract situations that reinforce that fear. If you trust the rhythm of return, you attract experiences that validate that trust. Circulation is a conversation between your belief and the universe. When you circulate money with faith, you declare that you live in a world of plenty, not scarcity. People often think lack comes from not having enough resources. In truth, lack comes from blocking the natural movement of energy. Imagine a river. When it flows, it nourishes everything in its path. When it is dammed, the water behind it becomes still and heavy, and the land ahead dry out. Money behaves the same way. When you let it flow with confidence, more enters your life because nothing is obstructing its path. When you restrict its movement out of fear, not only does less return, but opportunities dry up because the energy has stopped circulating. The fourth keynote teaches that giving and receiving are the same motion. You cannot inhale without exhaling. You cannot receive abundance while clutching tightly to fear. When you give with resentment, you close your hands. When you give with trust, you open them. And open hands are the only hands that can receive. This is why so many people experience sudden financial breakthroughs after releasing something they once held in fear. The moment they let go, circulation begins again, and abundance responds. Circulation also expands the mind. When you release something in trust, you stretch your belief about what is possible. You begin to understand that the universe replaces everything you release with something equal or greater. This understanding makes you bold. It helps you move through life with confidence instead of clutching. It allows you to invest in your dreams, trust your talents, and step into new territories without being controlled by the fear of losing. Circulation frees you from the illusion that money is limited and teaches you to align with the truth that supply is infinite and always replenishing. When the third and fourth keynotes are understood together, they create a powerful internal shift. Fear dissolves, expectancy rises, and circulation flows. This harmony transforms your relationship with money because it reconnects you to the deeper laws that govern abundance. You stop chasing prosperity and begin embodying it. You stop begging for opportunities and start attracting them. You stop fearing loss and begin trusting replenishment. In this state, money no longer feels like something outside of you that you must pursue. It becomes something that responds to you, moves with you, and circulates through your life. Because you finally understand how to keep the inner channels open. Divine timing is never late. Yet most people experience delay because their minds are living in the future instead of the present moment where manifestation actually begins. The fifth keynote teaches that the law works in the now. It does not activate when you hope one day to be ready. It activates when you accept that what you desire is already complete in the unseen and only awaiting your alignment. When someone constantly looks toward tomorrow for their blessing, they keep pushing the fulfillment of that blessing into a distant horizon. The universe responds to the energy you broadcast. And if the energy says it will happen someday, then someday is all you ever receive. But when you shift into the awareness that your good exists now, the atmosphere around you changes. You stop waiting and begin receiving. You stop preparing for abundance and begin living as if it were already woven into your reality. Receiving is not a passive state. It is a state of recognition. You begin to notice signs, opportunities, and intuitive nudges that were always present but previously overlooked. Divine timing becomes immediate when the mind stops anticipating lack and starts accepting completion. This acceptance teaches your subconscious that the blessing is not outside your reach. It is in your hands, unfolding step by step. Every action you take under this mindset becomes infused with power, because you are no longer trying to chase the outcome. You are moving with it. You are walking in harmony with what is already unfolding. This removes strain and replaces it with a calm confidence that magnetizes the right circumstances toward you. When you live from completion, you begin to see how the pieces of your life rearrange themselves to match your new inner state. Ideas align. People appear. Solutions surface. The world around you responds to the conviction inside you that what you desire is already secured. This mindset also dissolves doubt. When you believe your blessing is complete in the unseen, you stop questioning how or when it will arrive. You trust the path, even if the path temporarily looks unclear. You understand that divine timing is not about waiting. It is about alignment. The moment you align with the truth that you are already provided for, timing accelerates. Opportunities open because your inner atmosphere is no longer cluttered with hesitation. You are ready. And readiness is the signal that summons your good. This is why some people experience sudden breakthroughs the moment they stop worrying. They finally step into the frequency where completion already exists, and life meets them there. The sixth keynote expands this truth by teaching that symbols work only when consciousness is aligned, and the number you carry become powerful not because of the numbers themselves, but because of what they awaken within you. A symbol is a reminder. It is a point of focus that helps the mind anchor into a particular state. When you place specific spiritual or numerical symbols in your wallet or environment, you are giving your subconscious a constant cue about what you are choosing to believe. These symbols are effective only when they reflect a state you are willing to embody. They are not charms that force reality to obey. They are tools that help you remember the laws that shape your experience. When your consciousness is aligned with abundance, the symbol amplifies your belief. It keeps your thoughts from drifting back into fear and pulls your attention toward the vibration of increase. But when consciousness is rooted in doubt, the symbol cannot override that inner state. You must engage the symbol with intention. You must allow it to shift your awareness each time you see it. Symbols are powerful because the mind responds to repetition. Each glance at the numbers reminds you of your clarity, your expectancy, and your completion. Each reminder strengthens the neural pathways that support prosperity. Over time, this consistent reinforcement dissolves old patterns of lack and replaces them with patterns of confidence and receptivity. Symbols also help calm the emotional body. When you feel uncertainty rising, the presence of the number becomes a stabilizing force. It reminds you that there is an order beyond fear, a law beyond chaos, and a supply beyond limitation. This reminder brings you back to center. It helps you breathe differently, think differently, and choose differently. When you interact with a symbol from this grounded place, you activate the deeper layers of your intention. You are not simply carrying a number. You are carrying the atmosphere of your belief, and that atmosphere radiates through your decisions and attracts matching experiences. The sixth keynote teaches that the real power is in consciousness. The symbol is the companion, not the source. Your alignment is what opens channels. Your belief is what summons opportunities. Your inner certainty is what instructs the universe to move. When symbols and consciousness work together, the results become remarkable. Money appears in unexpected places. Delays dissolve. Ideas turn into income. You become more intuitive, more decisive, and more aware of the opportunities that were always present but previously hidden behind the veil of doubt. When you carry symbols that remind you of abundance, you are carrying a blueprint for your future. When your consciousness matches the blueprint, the world reflects it back to you. This harmony creates momentum. It creates flow. It creates the effortless unfolding that people often call luck, but is actually alignment in action. Through this, you begin to realize that abundance is not random. It is responsive. It responds to the thoughts you nurture, the emotions you cultivate, and the symbols you choose to honor. Together, the fifth and sixth keynotes reveal a profound truth. Abundance is immediate when you stop waiting and start aligning. Symbols amplify this alignment when you use them as reminders of your inner power. Divine timing accelerates when you accept completion, and symbols strengthen this acceptance until it becomes your natural way of thinking. When the mind is anchored in expectancy and the heart is anchored in trust, money does not need to be forced. It flows. It finds you. It responds to the inner certainty that abundance is not a distant dream but a present reality already moving toward you.